CreateaCard-based dies. These are gorgeous, gorgeous, intricate details, perfect condition for anybody that out there that loves to craft. Easy to store because they're wafer thin, but super strong. And they are gonna add a wonderful touch to any project that you do. $26.95 on sale, and only $6.74 on FlexPay. These are awesome and brand new.
Oh, brand new. And you know what? This trend is so hot. So what we're talking about is basically having a super thick die that can cut through multiple layers of cardstock so that it shapes the whole base of your card. So this is not about cutting something out and sticking it on your card. This is about having cards that are this shape to begin with. So whether you cut them through multiple layers like this, whether you want to cut them and do things like your easel cards, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second, you can do this. We've got both the oval and also we've got the rectangle. Now, if I just show you exactly what you get. So this is the actual die that cuts that oval. So can you see it's basically made of a thicker metal than usual to cut through these multiple layers, and then you've got all of the extra pieces so that you can do your matting and layering in the front. And then working in conjunction with that, you get the matching border dies. So you get one of the thick borders and also one of the thinner borders to do your cards to kind of match in at the other end. So that is your oval one. And then the other option that you're going to go for is your rectangular one. Now, honestly, I love both of them, and it really just depends. Look at these. I mean, these just look incredible. Who wouldn't want to make cards where the whole of the card is shaped? Not just shaped and stuck on the front, the whole of the card is shaped. It's totally different, totally unique. When we did this sort of concept in with an auto ship with the Today's Special that we did in May, and you guys loved it so much. We've designed these new dies in this collection. So that's your rectangular one, and then these are the two designs that go with the rectangle. Now, I think you've got to see me actually cut something to understand totally how this works, right? So I've got the rectangular one, and when I say it's a little bit thicker and cuts through multiple layers, look what I've done is I've taken a base piece of cardstock, folded it over in half, and this is a watercolor finish card, so it's super thick. I'm going to position this over the edge of the card. So can you see it's just going over the top part of the card, and I'm going to hold it in place with a little bit of my low-tack tape so that we can send it through. Now, you shouldn't need to add in your metal plate to cut this. However, let's give it a run through. If you want to give it a bit of extra bite to get a nice thick deep cut, you can always add your metal plate in there, but I'm going to try and send it through my first time without. Now, I'm running this through the Junior so that you can see that all of these dies would work with either the Junior or the big Gemini.
Okay.
So whichever one you've got. But what I would say is, I mean, they will cut with other machines, but because we're cutting through 2 layers, you really need something with a good bit of Wellian power in there.
Yes.
Look at that. So that's cut through there, absolutely no problem at all, through both layers of the cardstock, right? So what we end up with is we end up with a piece of card that is being cut, and obviously you're going to pop all of these. I should really pop them out before I did it. But can you see, it's cut through 2 layers. You're going to pop all these extra little pieces out of both the front and the back, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this first. You're not going to do this by eye, by the way. You're going to use that lovely new scoring board that you get in your Today's Special, right? But you're going to fold the first piece in half so that we basically have the half fold at the front. Now, what I've done is I've got the one where I've popped out all those pieces, and I've done the nice score line. So can you see we've cut through 2 layers, and the first layer gets folded in half. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut another layer, and I've just added a little bit of ink around the outside just to make it pop. You're going to do another layer just as a single layer, and we're going to take a little bit of tape. You put the tape just on this first half guy, right? So I'm putting plenty of tape on here, and then when you line these 2 up, look at this, they're going to line up beautifully. And then that folds to give you that beautiful easel-shaped card. So look how easy that is to do. So you've got that lovely easel-shaped card, and then because you've got all of the other dies to match it, all I've done is cut them out in different pieces of the cardstock. These are all from your Today's Special as well, if you want to work this together. So you're going to cut all of these different layers. They're going to layer up on top, and then you can use either some of your stamps or some of your embellishments.
And look at the project.
How great. But the idea is that you can do
So
this
different.
shaped card base. It's so different to anything else we've done. And I think these cards look really incredibly professional.
They're beautiful, and remember all the products that we're using here that are in the today's special, all the extras, all the great things that you can use when you grab these dies, which we're offering separately at $26.95. This is our showstopper, $6.74 on FlexPay. I love that you have your choice of, you know, some people like the Regal design to be more like the oval.
Yes.
Some like the rectangular. It really depends on it. I mean,
some of us like both.
Some get both. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. Look at some of the other things.
Look at these.
So this is.
So can you see, this is using the edge die down the side, the wider edge down the front, and then that oval, not as a shaped card base, but just to give you a beautiful centerpiece in there. And I think that is the most ornate, elegant looking card. Now, in the same way that I taught you how to do an easel fold, the sideways way, you can do it the long way as well, exactly the same, but this time we've just done it into a different color base cardstock. You can do them, look at these. I love this idea. So we've folded this into the front. So can you see the front, we've cut out the inside, but we've still done the base part, and because we've got them two layers, it's connected through two at once. So it just shows you all the different ways that you can be doing these. A whole base card with the collection done at the bottom with that thicker design as well, right?
I love it. And look at, and you know, with those dies, it goes right through the multiple different layers.
Two layers.
Look at that. And that's really the big difference. But just look at the different designs, and whether, you know, whether you're using it vertically or horizontally, it still looks beautiful. Just choose between the oval or the rectangular. They're both the same price. They're both $26.95. And remember, these are the ones, these are more heavy duty because they're going to cut through all those different layers. And they'll work with your Gemini Junior machines. I mean, it's perfect. Look at that.
Let's have a look.
You use a color wheel on that by any chance? Or no?
Well, you're always going to use your color wheel. Do you know?
We didn't mix colors, though.
We didn't. We just went with
we just went purple.
Color theory, that's
See, I've already learned that.
It's learning the different styles, right? So let me just show you again. So that was you've got the choice of either the rectangle or the oval, right? So in your rectangle set, you saw me work with the rectangle die, which was this one here, but then also in that collection, you get the border dies that go with it. So you get the thin border die, which gives you this effect, and then the thicker one, which gives you this effect here, all out of that thicker metal material. Then in the other set, you get the ovals, which again, you get the one big oval die and the extra little pieces that go with it, and then the two border dies. So I do just want to show you quickly how those border dies are going to work, okay? So what we've done is, just to make, for example, this super simple card here, which just looks like one of the most professional cards you've probably ever seen. I think it's this finish and the detail, and it's just the fact that it's so ornate. What you're going to do is you're going to take a base piece of cardstock, and I'm just using that lovely watercolour card again, and you take that die, and the idea is, you see, guys, it's got a cutting edge along the top, but no cutting edge at the bottom. So you're going to pop that on the base of your card, and you're going to run that through your machine. Now, when that comes through the other end of the machine, it's going to basically come out with this cut on. So I've done this at the bottom and also at the top, and it's almost like using a punch on the end of your card.
Which would be a lot of work.
Which would be, well, to be honest, would be so expensive.
Yes.
And then look how nice that looks. Now, I've gone for a really big card base this time, and just onto a base card, it gives that lovely edge piece to go with it. And then, of course, you can cut these, so if you use the regular oval on its own, not necessarily over a folded card, you're just going to get a really pretty looking base piece of card. So the base piece of card is just going to lay up, and you can see all I've done is basically done some embossed pieces. We've got 3D embossing folders coming up a little bit later. You're going to layer them all up, and all I've done with this one is literally put a little stamp.
These are really elegant. You know, they really are. They're beautiful. I mean, you know, these are cards that when you make these, and you know, it's based on the dies that you picked up. You know, because there's so much intricate work of these that these dies do.
But you wouldn't think that you would be able to cut through multiple layers like this with just one of those. So look at this one here. Beautiful on the inside, but look how intricate these are. And you can be cutting multiple layers at once because of the die. The dies are made, I'm going to just get you to have another little look at it. They're made of a thicker metal, so that we just cast them a little bit thicker so that it can go through those 2 layers of cardstock and just give this, whether it's 2 layers of cardstock, perhaps you're only going through 1 layer, but you're going through like a nice glitter card or something, and it gives that lovely finished piece.
All right, remember you need to choose oval or rectangular. That's all you need. If you want to get both, I will be happy that you did that. So get them both because it's going to add so much to the different looks that you get for any of your cards. It's brand new. It's exclusive. 085507 is the item. Remember, everything is FlexPay today. This is only $6.74. Everything you shop for today will only cost you $5 to ship, including our best value of the day, which is going crazy. Thousands of people have picked that up already. The ultimate card making kit is everything is included. I mean, it goes on and on. Maybe we'll show you a sneak peek of that again a little bit later. Coming up a little bit later, I want to give you a little tease as to what's coming up, is our 3D